In today's video, I wanted to share with you how I learned to become a better Minecraft builder by not trying to be a better Minecraft builder. And it really helps me not only improve my building, but also improve my enjoyment that I get out of Minecraft. So the whole point of this video is I want you to remember how you felt playing Minecraft when you were a kid. Meaning I know for me when I was a kid, I could literally play Minecraft for hours and hours, and I felt like everything I built was just so satisfying and so because I could really let my creativity kind of flow out, and just I didn't really feel judged, or I didn't really feel like my builds had to be any sort of set standard. But obviously if I recorded those builds and posted them online, people would probably say, oh, they're ugly, or they're not up to this kind of standard that things are nowadays. But just try to remember how you felt when you were a kid and playing Minecraft. What were the kind of things that you were building? When you're a kid, you don't necessarily feel like your builds have to be anything, they don't have to look a certain way. They don't have to be built in a certain way. They don't have to have super complex color palettes or super complex building techniques. You would just build things that you enjoyed and you thought were kind of cool. So for me, I would build a lot of things that were sky bases, or underwater mansions, just stuff like that. So I want to kind of share how I went back to that kind of mindset, and it really helps me not only improve my building, but also improve my enjoyment that I get out of Minecraft. Starting off, I feel nowadays, whether it's conscious or unconscious, I think a lot of us, I know for me personally, I watch a ton of Minecraft tutorials, and there's just tons and tons of amazing Minecraft builders out there. The things that people build is just so people have elevated what it means to build in Minecraft, and they build amazingly detailed things. And whether it's conscious or unconscious, I felt I had to the things I built had to be that same kind of standard. So on the world that I'm playing on now, I've had this world for 2 years, and I remember it would literally take me, I would try to plan out my builds so much. I would try to make them perfect, and I felt if my builds weren't this certain look, or they weren't this kind of standard that people build to nowadays, that it wasn't worth building. And I would spend so much time trying to plan and make everything perfect, and I would just end up not building anything. As people, we are definitely influenced kind of by what we watch, whether we think we are or not. And I would just literally spend so much time trying to build things that were perfect, and it really made me fall out of love with Minecraft. I just wasn't enjoying the game as much as I did when I was a kid, and I really craved that kind of feeling that I got from the game when I was a kid. So what I would do is I started playing the older versions of Minecraft, and for some reason the older versions of Minecraft really, they have a kind of charm to them, because Minecraft at its core is a sandbox game, but as they've updated it, obviously they added things like the Ender Dragon or enchantments, and this end game kind of gear the elytra and stuff. I know for me, I put a lot of emphasis on obtaining that kind of gear, and it kind of it makes sense that they would add this to the game. And I'm not saying that the elytra is bad, or the Ender Dragon's bad, or the end game is bad, but it can kind of set people up in a way to not view Minecraft in the same way that they viewed the older versions of the game. Meaning when Minecraft was first coming out, the beta versions or the alpha versions, there wasn't any sort of end game goal, and there wasn't villages or anything, or dungeons or anything. So it was the whole point of the game was to just build, and it was to create a story from your world, and you could really build whatever you wanted to. So I feel the draw for a lot of people to play those older versions of the game is because there isn't that end game that they're going towards. It's just they want to build things, and it was a lot simpler. There wasn't that many blocks to choose from, so you really had to let your creativity kind of flow. The things you built, you had to use your imagination. And I kind of took that mindset from the older versions of the game, and I started applying it to like the newer version of the game. Like this world that I'm playing on is 1.21.5, so the newest version at the time, and I feel like I can still play the game in that same sort of way. I don't have to like have a goal in mind. I don't have to build in a certain sort of standard kind of way. So more recently, I really started to like kind of embrace that like free kind of form of building. So what I've been doing a lot recently is I've been just kind of like following the landscape of the world. So like some of the builds I do are on like mountain ranges, and what I'll do is I'll kind of like outline just the way the terrain generates with like blocks, and then that will be like my outline, and I'll kind of build up from there and like build walls, and then from there then I'll start decorating and things. It gives some of the builds like such a unique and fun kind of look, and it really reminded me of how I used to build as a kid, like not trying to build some sort of like formula, not trying to like make my build super perfect. And it really like, it made me enjoy the game a lot more, because now I'm like in that creative kind of mode again. And I think like it can be so tempting to want to build like other people, and it can be so tempting to like, and I'm not saying, you know, YouTube videos are bad or anything like that, but it's just like, I feel like everybody has their own unique kind of style to them. Everyone has their own way of building things, and, you know, just like be patient with yourself when you are playing Minecraft. Like be patient with finding your style and things like that. And you know, eventually you will just kind of like, the longer you play, you will eventually just kind of figure out how you like to build. And, you know, people may see the way I build things, and you don't have to build like that. You don't have to build the way that I do. Maybe you like things that are a lot more blocky. Maybe you like to build things that are a lot more simple. And that's okay too. Like, you don't have to build the way other people build. I think what really improved my building was not worrying about what other people might think. For me, it was sort of an irrational fear that I had, that if like I built something and it wasn't up to some sort of standard, that somehow it wasn't worth building, right? And it's so like, it's weird to think like that, because Minecraft is like, for me, is a single player game, so it's not like anything I built people would even see anyways. So like I just started building things that were kind of weird and wacky, and like, and it really helped me like enjoy the game again. So, you know, like you don't necessarily have to build to any sort of standard or anything like that. So the world I'm playing on was originally a survival world, but as you can kind of tell, I am playing on creative mode. And something I really had to get over was like my phobia of playing on creative mode. For the longest time, I felt like by playing on creative mode, somehow my world was less than if it was a survival world, for example. So I was really bored of my world playing on survival, because I felt like I had endgame gear obviously for a long time, and I didn't really feel the challenge of it anymore. And I was really just focused on building, and I feel like I was so scared to turn on creative mode, because I felt like, oh, maybe it would like negate the progress that I made, or maybe it would like diminish the time that I spent building the world and gathering materials. But after playing on creative mode for a while, I feel like now more than ever I actually love playing on my world, because now I can like build things with blocks that I don't normally have access to, or I can like, you know, and I still enjoy the world as if I was playing survival mode. So I think like giving yourself permission to kind of play how you like to play, whether that's on peaceful mode, whether that's with keep inventory on, or hardcore or creative mode, however you want to play, like give yourself permission and freedom to like play how you want to. And like, just because you build a world in creative mode doesn't mean it's any less than, it doesn't mean that that world is less impressive than if it was built in survival mode. It's just building something that like brings you satisfaction. And a lot of my builds in this world are kind of fantasy themed, just because I really like to kind of build that style of thing. Like I loved playing Skyrim growing up, so a lot of like that kind of fantasy sort of style is in this world. But maybe you like to build things that are more modern or more like just wacky and weird, and that's totally fine. It's totally okay to like build in different ways. And so my color palette is a lot more like muted and that kind of vibe, but maybe you like to build things that are more like colorful and like very early 2010s like vibrant kind of style, and that's totally fine too. Like I was saying, you just have to be really patient with yourself and like give yourself time to find out like what you like to build. Do you like building things that are very detailed? Do you like to build things that are more simple? And like that's when you'll really start to enjoy Minecraft again. And as a result of really embracing your own personal kind of style and flair, like, and like not worrying about what people will think about your builds or trying to build to a standard, like you'll actually improve as a builder, because like your imagination and your creativity is like your greatest asset when it comes to like games like Minecraft or like sandbox games in general. And you'll just come up with like really unique ideas. And something I love to do is just, I love to build like without a plan. Like maybe I'll have like an idea, oh, I want to build a house here, and I'll just start building a layout and building it up and decorating it. And something I really learned pretty recently, I guess, is that like it's way easier for me to build, like instead of trying to build a finished product right away, what I'll do is I'll start off very simply and then decorate it after the fact. So like your builds don't have to be finished when you build them. Like you don't have to build a finished product. Build something that's really simple and then come in after the fact and maybe add windows or add little overhangs or add vines, landscape it, like add different colors, add different texture. And like that's what really improved my building, I feel like, is not having to, like, taking the pressure off of myself of having to have a perfect plan and just building kind of what fits the landscape, and maybe having a vague idea. Maybe like I want to build a haunted mansion, or I want to build like a graveyard or something. Like just having like a rough idea, but you don't have to have it like fully planned. And that's how I feel like works the best for me. And I'm curious to hear like how you guys kind of go about building things, and maybe like how you would build things as a kid versus how you would build things now. I feel like as we get older, we kind of have to like justify how we spend our time. So maybe that's why we feel like our builds have to be like these amazing things, these like beautiful builds. Whereas when we're a kid, we don't have like real concepts of time. We're just in the moment and we're enjoying the game, right? So I think like just having that approach of playing the game like as if you are a kid is really what improved my building. And like I was saying, taking time to find your style, just building random things, and be proud of like what you build. Even if it's not like the most beautiful thing in the world, be proud of it and know that like that's like a part of you that you've like built into the world, and it's like your expression. So there is like value in that. Like things don't have to be like aesthetically pleasing to have value. So that's kind of my main thing. Hopefully this video wasn't too rambly. If nothing else, I just want this video to be like affirming to you that like you can build whatever you want, and it doesn't have to be amazing, and it doesn't have to be the most planned out thing in the world. I really just want people to like enjoy Minecraft like they did when they were kids, because I feel like that's what a lot of people are really craving these days. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of format. This is something new for me. I normally don't record my like voiceover after the fact. Normally I do them live. So if you guys want to see more stuff like this, feel free to subscribe. Thank you.